Unaendelea kutazama Kenya's Gold, kipindi ambacho kinakufunza mengi kuhusiana na masuala ya ukulima.
Great, and just continuing with our conversation with Dr. David Amudavi, who is the Executive Director of BioVision Africa Trust. We've spoken about how extensive farming is a big challenge when it comes to restoration of our ecosystem. But we already do have a farmer who has about 200 cows in probably not a very big space of land. And that's a big contributor to the challenge that we have right now. So what are we telling them? What is the way forward? What are the intervention measures for that farmer who's already practicing extensive farming?
Thank you. A very good question. And in most cases, those farmers who are practicing extensive farming, if they're pastoralists, then of course you know they're in the arid and semi-arid lands. And if they're not, then there might be those in high potential areas. But one thing I want to say is for effective farm management for such kind of extensive farming, it means we need to look at the question of fodder for the livestock. Preservation is very important, and also diversification of the types of fodder that you have. This can help the farmer to be able to feed the livestock for a long time. Of course, when we have plenty of pasture, especially during the rains, then you don't need to use preserved fodder. But during that time, it's also the opportunity to harvest the fodder, keep it and use it at a time when we do not have rains, we don't have grasses, and therefore you are preparing for what they say for a rainy day. And that is what it means in terms of effective management of the livestock. Right. It's a matter of how you manage the fodder that's available, and also using what you have in a manner that you look at how much do you have to feed your livestock. Okay. And it becomes even easier for those who are, for example, practicing zero grazing. They are very good at measuring how much you can actually feed your livestock, and then look at how much you have actually preserved and you are able to feed. But if you use free range, then of course that is appropriate, as it is appropriate for you with the size of land you have or the spaces that you have, common grazing areas that you can actually feed your livestock on.
Okay. Kwa haraka tuzungumzie ile tunaita breed improvement. Tunafanyaje sasa kuhakikisha unapata mkulima na ng'ombe wengi sana lakini nyasi kidogo? Tufanyaje kubadilisha ile breed?
Asante sana. Ile ni swali nzuri, ni kwa sababu pia wakulima, kila mkulima anataka akiwa na mfugo yoyote uwe mfugo ambao unaweza kumpatia mazao. Na ni vizuri wakulima watumie mbegu ambao inastahili. Na katika hali ya ukulima, hasa ng'ombe ama kondoo ambao tunasema improved, kuna utafiti umefanywa, ile mbegu ambayo inazaa zaidi inaweza kutumika. Lakini tunajua kwamba katika sehemu ambazo ni kavu sana kama asal areas, then you want to look at what are the productive breeds that can also be suitable for such dry areas. And this is an important question that those who keep livestock need to look at. If they are keeping some of the livestock to have milk as well, then you want to look at livestock that are reasonably high yielding, but also for which you know you'll have enough fodder to feed them. Because you can't expect a lot of milk from livestock if you don't have enough fodder and grasses for them. So it's a matter of balancing. In areas where you can have access to improved grasses, it's possible you can go for reasonably high yielding livestock. Okay. And we have breeding programs to support farmers in this area.
Asante sana. Naamini kwamba ni wakati wako sasa ngine kutupatia.
All right, so thank you so very much, Mr. David, for speaking to us about semi-arid and arid regeneration. But before we let you go, we always wind up with what we call the farm joke of the day. So it's just a joke regarding matters agriculture. Very simple. And the rule of the game is don't overthink it.
Yes.
Don't overthink the answer, all right?
Right.
So your question for the day is, what goes up when the rain comes down?
Beautiful mixture of grasses for livestock for all our farmers and communities in rural areas, and particularly the asal areas.
You're overthinking some more.
No.
Terer, what's the answer?
Ni mvuke, maji yanayorudi kule, evaporation nafanya.
You overthought even more. And the answer is umbrella. It goes